Hi, everyone, and welcome to Hidden Gems Academy. Today, I have an amazing guest for you. Her name is Porsche Mysticque Steele, and she's from the US. I'm going to let her tell you more about her and her business and why she is a hidden gem. So, first thing, Porsche, tell us about you, a bit about you, where you're from. We know it's the US, but we're in the US, and what's your business like?
Okay, so yeah, I was born and raised Pittsburgh, PA. Steelers all up in my blood. For those who don't worry, people who watch this, if they're from Pittsburgh, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I currently live in Nigeria. Yes, I'm an independent publishing expert, and I'm the CEO of Mysticque Publishing Services. I help coaches combine their story and their wisdom to publish impactful books that generates income, influence, and elevates them to thought leadership. I love what I do. Why am I a hidden gem? I think if we looked at the term literally, I think I'm a hidden gem because I'm not home. Like literally, I'm just like hidden in the, in the suburbs of Nigeria. But I'm pretty low key in this particular industry. Unfortunately, the independent publishing space is really ran by older white men. So I am a hidden gem in this particular space as an independent publishing expert because I'm a woman of color. But not so hidden because I'm a firework and I make a lot of noise. So I love what I do.
Well, you're my first publisher. So I am just so happy to have you here right now because, publishing has been on my heart for a while because I want to publish, but also I always wanted to interview a publisher on this channel. So it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me today. People are they're going to ask, why are you someone from the US who's in Nigeria? What's going on? How did you get to Nigeria?
Okay, so let's get all the FAQs out the way, right? Because the frequently asked questions is, are you Nigerian? I'm not. As far as I know, there's no Nigerians in my family. Okay, so I have no roots or ties to Nigeria. So what happened was I met a guy online, right? I got all the worries and the tips and the fears and, oh, he's a scammer, he's this, he's that, but he ended up not being that. So we fell in love. We dated online for 5 years. And I came to Nigeria to see if we would vibe in person. But the day that I arrived, he proposed to me. So
oh, real love and all that. That's amazing. Real love. So we have, I think
we got married.
Your camera.
I'm frozen.
Your camera stopped for a little bit. So I think that's the Nigerian Airways.
Yep, it happens, but we deal with it.
So, okay. So you get to Nigeria, you fall in love with this amazing man. You're now living in Nigeria. And so tell me about the business. Did the business start in Nigeria or did it start in the US?
So Mysticque Publishing actually started while I was in Nigeria, although it is a US-based company. So all of my, it was established in the US, the building is there, everything is in the US. But my work in the independent publishing space started before I came to Nigeria. So I was a freelance editor, and then I became a freelance self-publisher. And then I used those skills and the people that I was collaborating with to create Mysticque Publishing. And I was already living here when we did that.
Okay, brilliant. And so what's the journey been like? Because everybody who is listening is gonna wanna know, for a publisher, what's the journey to being a successful publisher? Because you are, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's one hell of a journey. So like I said, I was a freelance editor. So, okay, let's dial it back just a little bit. So I actually was locked in a house. Yes, I was in my family home, and the head of our household ran our home like a prison. So we were very strongly discouraged not to go out, not to do anything. So I had no internet access. I had nothing. Didn't have friends, weren't allowed to go outside, anything like that. You know, anything that was outside of the family was strongly discouraged. So my sister, who also was in the same predicament, we had this beat up old laptop. She refurbished it, and we used that laptop to sneak online. And that's how I started that's how I started my editing work. But you know, when you're locked away in a prison, you're not known to society. So didn't have a bank account, didn't have credit, I was not known to the world. So that was a struggle, but I managed to get a PayPal account. So I was just earning as a freelancer and just banking, throwing this money into my PayPal account. And of course, that's how I met my husband. And eventually, one of the authors that I was editing for said, "Porsché, please help me self-publish this." I said, "No, I don't know how. I don't know anything about self-publishing. I'm an editor." So he said, "Please, I don't want anybody else to do it. This is what I want to do, but I want you to help me." So I went online, I learned how, I got some mentors along the way. I learned how to edit, format, cover design, sucked at it. So I had to do a little bit of outreach, and I outsourced that, got some people onto my team to help me make it look amazing. And then we went the KDP route, which is the most basic route to get your book on Amazon. So we did that, and it was fun. But over time, you have to get better. You have to perfect. You can't stay basic, because everybody who's just starting out, they use Canva, create the cover, slap it together, throw it up on Amazon. They don't even bother with editing, or they say, "Hey, I edited myself," or "I handed it to my mom," or "I handed it to my friend." They don't even bother investing in that. And it's like a dime a dozen. Everybody's doing that. If you continue to do that, you're never going to stand out. You're going to stay exactly where you are. And I couldn't do that. I didn't want my authors to be basic. I wanted to go above and beyond. So I had to learn. I had to get mentors, expensive mentors. I had to get team members who were better than me, who I could learn from. And eventually we worked together, and we created this solid team. And with that team, we were able to publish high quality books outside of Amazon. We're publishing on landing pages. Authors are getting 100% of their revenue. They're happy, and their books they look amazing. It's not something that they just quickly did, but books that last generations. So it's definitely been a journey, but really it's just a learning process.
Amazing. What I love is your tenacity, that you're just so resilient in pursuing your goals, because you didn't know how to do this. You say that yourself, you brought together the expertise, and that's what people need to do when they're embarking on a new journey. You're not expected to know everything, but I found that in developing a masterclass recently, I just had to reach out and find people where, because there are things I cannot do as well as other people can do. Okay. And there's people who have it on me because, they're part of the technological generation, and so they're quicker, they're faster, they know how to do things. So yeah, they're my people. I'm literally like, come on, give me that information.
Exactly.
Do it for me. And it's okay, how much is it going to cost? Because I'm fine with it. Just do it for me and make it look amazing. And they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I totally get that bit of the journey. Definitely. But in sort of growing your business, did you grow it through COVID, through the whole pandemic period? You did? How did that work? How did that affect what you were doing?
That's a good one. I think COVID actually was perfect. It was like the perfect environment for my business, because everybody was stuck at home, right? So COVID birthed so many authors. So many people spent their COVID months writing the manuscript they always said that they wanted to write.
Right.
and they weren't going out, they weren't spending money. So they were willing to invest and create books that last generations. And so that it was just perfect. It was perfect for my business. I hate that it was COVID that caused that, because the world was falling apart and we were losing people and it was terrible, but it was great for my business.
Oh, so you're one of the businesses is one of the businesses that actually benefited from COVID.
Exactly. But then what happened was after COVID, when the economy tanked, like where we are right now, where people they're trying to go back to work. They're not ready to invest anymore. So my company, we had to pivot a little bit. So before, when I started, I was reaching out to anybody and everybody who wanted to publish a book. Hey, you have a heart, you have a story on your heart, get it off your chest, put it on paper, I'm gonna help you. Now, because of the economy and just because of the type of people that I want to deal with, I don't help just anybody anymore. We focus on coaches, and even then, coaches have to qualify. So we really qualify the people that we work with, because if they don't live up to our standards as human beings, like having integrity, being honest, being open, having ambition, if you do not hit those 4 qualities, we can't vibe, we can't talk, we can't work together.
Wow. So I like it. You've set your boundaries. You know who your customers are. You know who your target market is. You're not playing. Some people do not make it to the live event because, they're just not doing what you need them to do. So I love that you have worked out what works for you as a business. So going forward, you talked about this new era that we're in. Like, how are you going to shift through this time? Because now we're talking about recession, inflation, the world is changing. We've got new technology, but we've got some constraints and people are worried about the future. How do you feel about your future?
I actually feel really good, which is different from most businesses. And that's because of my audience. So since I'm only working with coaches, these are individuals that have entrepreneurial mindsets. So they understand the market. So yes, we're kind of at a lull right now, but we know things are going to go back up, right? So what could happen is that if unemployment spikes in the US, it's going to screw up everything, but we don't think that's what's going to happen. So if you're paying attention to the market, we're going to be in an upswing shortly. We don't know when, but we know it's coming. So because I'm working with coaches, they pay attention to that. So they are making moves in their business to prepare for that, which means they're going to be coming to me. Because at this point, coaches typically have large high ticket packages, right? So they're thousands of dollar program, their coaching sessions, their memberships, all of that is really expensive for the average consumer. So they're going to be looking for things to offer their clients that are low ticket, and they want to expand their audience with smaller offers. A book is the perfect low ticket offer that gives your clients or your audience exactly what they need. So as a coach, you're the expert. You have all the information, but people can't afford to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for your program. So you can take that information that you put in your program and you can use your story and you can put it in a book to create something impactful and deliver it to your audience and say, here, those who can't afford my programs, don't worry, I got you. You still belong in my world. You belong in my universe, but you only got to pay like $20 to get that information. So coaches, they understand that because they're entrepreneurs. So they're looking for that thing. So as we are in this lull, I'm kind of, monetizing that. I'm profiting off of that because they are profiting off of that.
Okay. So for the person who is thinking, and there are a lot of people, I guess, out there now thinking, I want to get my story out. I'm a coach, because that's your target.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to get my story into script form. I want to get it to you and you make it look pretty and all the rest of it. What's the time span for someone who's looking to publish? Like, so coaches like to have things quick. Is it a quick process? How does it work?
It is. So it depends. If the coach already has a manuscript, and most of them do, they've already written something years ago. We just need to get back to it. If they haven't written manuscript already, 60 days, they're a published author. The book is done and they're happy with it. It's live, ready for purchase. If they don't have a manuscript, then it's 90 days.
Okay. It's quite long.
That's long.
90 days sounds like a long
90 days. You know, I've seen some people, some of my colleagues, they'll say, you know, let's publish your book in 7 days, and it can be done. But I don't go that route because I'm a perfectionist and I only like high quality. I don't cut corners. And that's why I'm not for everybody. I'm only for the people who are willing to put in the time and energy to make something that will last forever. Because I can help you publish a book in 7 days. We can write a book in 48 hours.
Yeah, they do say that. You can write
it
in 48 hours.
It's possible. I have a workbook that helps you write a book in 48 hours. But writing a book is just the beginning. What about the marketing? What about the cover design? The interior design? How do you want to publish? How are you going to leverage this book in your business? Because every book has 7 streams of income. Now, if you didn't take the time to figure out how your book can maximize on that profit, then that 7 days doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything because you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So we take them through the whole process from brainstorming and validating, outlining and writing, publishing and leveraging. That's the whole program.
So what's the difference between a published house and self-publishing? Just very quickly, because I know we don't have enough time to go into the whole thing, but I'm interested for my listeners. Like a lot of people get offered, you know, come and self-publish, but why would I self-publish over sending my book to a big publishing house?
Yeah, I have mad respect for traditional publishers because the main difference is with traditional publishing, you don't have to invest in anything. All you need is a literary agent and a dope manuscript, and your literary agent is going to do all the work to shop you around to your traditional publisher. Now, if it gets picked up, you get an advance, and that publishing house will release your book. But traditional publishers nowadays do not market for you. You have to do all the marketing yourself, so that still sucks. Now, with independent publishing, yeah, you got to come out of pocket for everything. You have to take care of everything. Now, the reason why I prefer independent publishing is because I like having creative control. If I write something, I don't want somebody going in there saying, take this out, take that out, take that out, because it doesn't appeal to the greater commercialized market. Like, I don't like that. Yeah. I want to create something that I can be proud of for my audience, not for the general audience. And another thing is with traditional publishing, it's really difficult to get picked up. I've had authors who went traditional and they're still waiting 5-10 years to get picked up. And when they get picked up, they're shelved. It's almost like a singer getting picked up by a record label. Yeah, they heard your voice and it sounded amazing, but when are you going to get that contract? Okay. You know, when are they going to sign you? And then when they sign you, when are they going to start booking your shows? You know, so you have to play the game, and it's a frustrating game for a lot of people.
It is. But that has been a great insight into publishing. I definitely learned a lot from our conversation. So my last question may be about costs, because I know people want to know, you know, if I went independent, what's the difference between going independent and going to a big, you know, I know they give you an advance, but what does it cost to actually publish a book?
So yeah, with traditional, it doesn't cost you anything. And even if you don't even pay a literary agent, it doesn't cost you anything to go traditional. But if you want to go self-publish, it depends on how much you want to invest. So let's say you wanted to come to Mysticque Publishing. You could pay as little as $500 or as much as $21,000.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, that's a huge jump, but it really just depends on what you want. Like $500 would be the coaching. We give you the coaching that you need to get what you want. $21,000, that's getting you the PR, the marketing, the social media marketing,
Okay. I think we have lost.
The book is
There you go.
okay. I'm back.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we hitched out for a little bit, but you're back. Go ahead.
Yeah. So 21,000 will give you the public relations, media relations, social media marketing, influencer marketing, a great book, offset printing, holding events, book signings, you know? So really, it just, for me, I always tell people when they ask me that question, it's not a question of how much does it cost. It's how much are you willing to invest? Because you're going to get whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you decide, hey, I'm only going to put in $20, you're going to get $20 worth of work. So it's definitely up to you.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I thank you so much because today that is a snapshot that we needed. Thank you so much, Push, for giving us an insight to your business. I think more people out here are probably going to think harder about, publishing. A lot of people have a story they want to tell, and they're not sure how they go about, presenting that story and what it costs even to get it on, into shops and all the rest of it. So I am so grateful for the conversation we've had. You have, gone beyond my expectations. So thank you. Thank you for this time. Enjoy Nigeria. You're in a great place. I'm sure we have a whole nother conversation about Nigeria, I'm sure. But for now, I'm gonna just say thank you for your time. And thank you to my listeners for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you. We're doing very well. We've now got today, I think it is over 1,000 subscribers. So I'm really excited. So people keep subscribing and please keep listening to this channel. We love you. Take care. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.